Guys, welcome to the Hope That Heals You with me, Marie Nazria, where I talk about all different kinds of things. And today I really want to talk about something that's been coming up for me, and I think it's super important, especially if you haven't thought about it yet, which is humanizing your parents. It is so important, to me at least, that I got to humanize my parents. What I mean by that is, who are your parents? Like, have you ever really sat there and asked them to tell you the story of their lives? You'd be quite surprised what you don't know about your parents until you sit them down and take the time to really ask them. And this is not like a judgmental conversation. This is just a listening conversation and questions. And why I think this is so important is because I lost my dad 4 years ago. However, my father and I had a really beautiful relationship, and I humanized him pretty young in my life, like early in my life. But as I got older and it was more appropriate to have more in-depth and intimate conversations, I learned so much about him, to the point where I feel like I lived part of his life with him that I wasn't even like born yet into. So that's something I always carry with me and is really valuable to me, because now that he's not here, I feel like I've known him longer than I've had the actual time to be with him. This includes my mom as well. I, reached out to her, and of course I have a relationship with my mother, but I never asked her about her childhood and what she went through and who were her friends and what did she do with her time and why did she fall in love with my dad and things like this, like real questions, like the questions you actually know already the answers to about your friends, but you don't know them about your parents. And I think that oftentimes as the children of parents, we don't think of our parents in that way. And I think it's super telling, and it will tell you a lot about who you are too, because sometimes in your life you'll be doing something and you'll be like, oh, it's so funny, that reminds me of a story my mom told me or a story my dad told me. And it's because we're very similar to them in many ways as well. So it's a connection to them. So I think also humanizing your parents is really important, because I feel like we think our parents are invincible or they need to be perfect or they were born to be our parent, and that's like who they are and what they are, and that's it. And that's not true. They're human beings, just like you and I. You and I, when we go and have children or start families, it would suck if our kid didn't want to know who we were before we had them. And we have a full life before them and a lot of experiences. And I just think it's a really beautiful bonding experience with your parent, to come together with them and learn about them. They also feel very touched that you want to know about them usually. So I invite you to have these kinds of conversations with your parents, to humanize them, even your grandparents, aunts and uncles. I mean, you can get some really funny memories, stories, and just beautiful experiences. So if you have the opportunity and you're blessed enough to have your parents in your life, ask them about their life. Ask them who they are. Ask them how they came to be who they are. And I think it's just a really beautiful thing, and I consider it a tool. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I would love to hear stories. So if you have any amazing stories like, oh, I found this out about my dad or my grandma or my mom, I would love to hear them. I love family stuff. So please let me know. Also share with friends that you think they should have these kinds of conversations with their parents. Thank you so much. I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care.